Greetings, exiles and giant hunters. So it's spring. We need to get our garden bed put in for the first time. This is the first garden I'm putting in since me and Sarah got married, and this is going to be Sarah's first garden. So we have this old shed here on the back of the property, and by the back of the property I mean like the house is like 50 feet behind you. We're just in a suburban lot, half acre at the most. But anyway, we're gonna put it in next to this shed. So there's a bunch of debris that was up here. I got rid of all the plastic and metal and that kind of stuff out of here. Some of the wood piled up over there, and I'm burning some of that wood along with some other tree branches and stuff I've been cutting down. And the tools I've used so far are my 40-volt Ryobi weed eater. Get yourself a battery-powered weed eater. Borrowed my dad's 40-volt chainsaw. I'm using my Rogue hoe. It's a Rogue brand. I'll put a link in the description. These things are awesome. They're made out of old, worn-out plow disc, and they're welded to the handle, and then the handle welded to the metal part of the handle, and then that's pinned to the wood. These things are awesome for digging and removing grass and stuff. And then just a regular yard rake. So now I'm going to rake up some more of this wood debris stuff and throw that into the fire. Found some more plastic. And if you're wondering, this is my quail tractor. There's no quail in it. We're going to go get those tonight. But I just made a video about this not too long ago. So we want to catch all the rainwater coming off of here and use it for the garden. The easiest way to do that is to build a path right next to this, and that'll give us access to all the garden beds, because we're going to have to fence this in because we got more rabbits than we should have rabbits. So we're going to make a 2-foot path. So this electrical tape's 2 foot wide. So that means I don't have to keep getting a tape measure. I got my tape measure handy here. And we're going to make a 2 foot, like I said, 2 foot wide path for the entire length of this shed. And then we're going to put the gate down here at this end, closest to the house. And then between each row, we're going to put another path. So when the water runs off of here, it runs into this path and then into the other paths and soaks in to the ground, because we got really sandy soil, so water will drain away quickly. So we want to be able to take advantage of all the rain we can get, so we don't have to water as much. So we're just going to take the hoe here and start digging down. If I run into big roots or like this stump here, I'm just going to ignore it. It won't hurt anything. Maybe I'll. No. And then this digging down will give us some more dirt to raise up the beds a little bit. I'll show you when this path's done. I found a pretty gnarly old vine here, and this is what's nice about these Rogue hoes. You can sharpen them pretty sharp, and they cut pretty darn well into stuff like this, where you don't want to get your axe or your chainsaw or something like that in there and dull it up. Eventually all these roots are going to go, but one step at a time. All these viney grapevines or rootstock are wild grapevine. And this stump does have to go after all. So we're just gonna dig through here, find one of its roots at a time, dig all the way around it. Okay, I got most of the first 2 feet. So this is the pathway. The gate's gonna be right here. So you'll open the gate, walk into here, and like I said, the water will run off to here, fill this up. Now all I gotta do is section out the 2-foot pathway, or the 2-foot garden bed, the 4-foot garden bed, and then another 2-foot one, and then start digging the paths between them. And as I dig those paths down level with this path, the dirt will come out of there onto the garden beds on both sides to raise them up a little. They don't have to be raised up very far, because for every inch you dig the path down, well, going with more path than I have garden bed. Basically, for every inch down, then I'll put that dirt on top, so I get 2 inches of gain. So it ends up digging down 2 inches, will give me 4 inch from the bottom of the path to the top of the garden bed, and that should be plenty to keep, when the water fills up the paths, that should be plenty to keep the beds from flooding out. I think you'll see better when you're done, but when I'm done. But this is all that came out of this 2-foot bed. So this pretty big pile right here of dirt. Yes, there's a lot of sticks and stuff in there, but ideally I'd go get compost that's clean, but we'll deal with what we got, because this is what we have and this is what's available. And we'll just have to pull some weeds out of it the first year. Next year, when this turns into the chicken run, should be fine. And then out of this side, where all this junk and the boards that need to be put around the shed are, all this is going to become the garden bed next year. But in the fall, this will become the chicken run. So it'll be fenced in, and then the chickens will get in this. Okay, let me start over. The chickens will be in this run this fall when we get them, probably around August, September. And then next year, that'll become the garden, and this will become the chicken run, and that will keep the bugs and critters down, and the chickens will poop and fertilize and do all that kind of stuff. But let's go get some mulch and finish digging out the rest of the garden beds. And that's the level I use to get this level-ish. It doesn't have to be perfect, just close enough. All we're trying to do here is remove the grass. We don't need to dig down very far. That's where a good grubbing hoe like this guy comes in. You just come through here and remove most of the grass and stuff. Lickety split. Well, I got most of the grass removed. Yeah, there's some grass here and there, some other weeds. I'm not worried about it, because the next 2 steps will help suppress whatever weeds are left. And then I also put in 4 sticks to mark the corners. We're 8 feet by 10 feet, and the reason we're not 8 by 8 is because we need a path at one end. So the next thing is to dig the 2-foot wide path here, and then move that dirt into the center for the center garden bed. Well, I got the first path pretty much done. This will give us enough room to work on the garden beds on either side. I was originally going to make the middle section 4 feet wide, but I decided 2 foot wide. Yes, that's a significant portion, but this is the first family garden, so we can expand it later. But if I put another 2 foot wide path here, that means I'm out of space for the last 2 foot wide path. I did my math wrong. So I'm gonna rake all this back into the path, and I'm gonna go start at this end 2 feet, 2 foot bed, 2 foot path, 2 foot bed, 2 foot path, and then 2 foot bed. That means I'm gonna have to remove some more grass to make this thing bigger. But That's fine. I got time. We're going to be planting this weekend, so as long as I get it done by this weekend, that's cool. But that's important to double check your work as you go. I should have started at the back edge in case I made a mistake like this, because I don't want to go any further that way with the garden. I want it to come this way. And I don't want to get any wider than 12-ish feet total over the course of time. And I can go longer too in the future. But since we're going to be using this shed as a chicken coop, we don't want to expand it too big and have issues with that. So I'm going to fill that in and then get back started over there. All right, as you can see, we got 2 paths, well 3 paths, include this one, dug out. 3 garden beds. That needs lowered a little bit in that corner. The water will run that way. But we're just about ready to start putting mulch in. And there's the first batch of mulch.